Here I have a replacement window regulator, driver's side with the auto up-down functionality to go on the Honda Integra. I've re-greased it, although the original grease still seemed to be in quite good condition since this is from a low mileage car. We can compare to the rather worn out grease on the old regulator, which may have contributed to the failure of the old regulator. You can see the grease is kind of sort of dried and baked on and sort of not very lubricating anymore. So we'll fit this up and see if the window works.
To remove the door trim panel, start by prying off the power window cover. Then there are two screws holding on the door handle part of the door panel. These are JAS screws, although a Phillips head screwdriver will work just as well. After that, there are two screws hidden behind a trim panel underneath the door handle. So first you need a small flathead screwdriver to pry out the cover panel that hides the screws. When you pull the door handle off, if it's the driver's side door handle, there will be an extra plug that needs to be unplugged for the door switch. Next, it's a case of prying off the holder that holds the cable for the door release onto the door handle. Then it's a matter of removing the power window switches. It's easiest to pry these from the side using some kind of pry tool or small flathead screwdriver, and then these can simply be unplugged. Finally, with all the screws removed, it's best to use one of these trim removal tools and insert it underneath the door and push the door panel away from the door itself, which will dislodge some of the clips. There are clips right around the perimeter of the door. Once you've got the first couple unclipped, it should be straightforward to remove the remainder by pulling on the door panel. Once the clips are loose, you can pull the door panel up and away from the door.
These plastic sheets are used, I believe, to stop weather from the window coming into the car. But it seems like somebody's already pulled this off, and kind of the blue tack gummy stuff is already kind of loose. And so we can pull this back. This is the door panel, so this is where the motor goes. And this along here is where the actual window regulator track goes. You can see that these three bolts, as well as these two bolts, can be slid across while they're sort of slightly loose. However, these two bolts have to be undone completely to be installed. So you just kind of slip the whole thing in. Motor goes here, regulator track goes there, and then the cable runs across to this part of the loom here, with the little clip there, and it runs through this little gap here. And then it's a matter of undoing the window, which is currently taped on, and then bringing the track down to this point here where there are two access holes, and then the two mounting points of the window, which are, you can see here, then line up with the track here, and you kind of bolt it together, and that holds the window to the track itself, and then the cable can pull it up and down as required. It goes like this. The motor kind of goes there with these three bolts over there, and then the track kind of goes here alongside with these four bolts here, and the wire of course goes through there and connects to the other blue connector. So these 5 bolts can then be secured with the window holder in the right spot, and these can be fitted, and then it's a case of gently lowering the window down until it reaches these spots and securing it in place. Luckily, the duct tape used to hold the window up for the time being doesn't seem to have caused any lasting damage to the window tint. I'm not quite so worried about the outside glass surface, since that's obviously quite hard to scratch or damage, but yeah, the inside seems to be fine, so that's useful. It was simply a matter of sliding the window down the track until it lines up with the two holes, which fortunately are slotted and have a wide range of potential fitments, and then hopefully then the 2 bolts can go into place. They're the longer bolts, and then it's a matter of checking that the window goes up and down correctly. Perhaps realigning the tracks if necessary. So with the window bolts in and the ignition on, here goes nothing. Dear, this could go wrong. That seems to be all the way down. That's just the tape residue on the outside of the window, which is no big deal. Seems to work correctly. Door panel is back together and the switch is reinstalled for the final. You can turn the ignition on and put the window all the way down and then hold the button down for 5 seconds, and then put the window all the way up and hold the button up for 5 seconds, and that will reset the the up and down position for the auto up down. And so then you should have a power window that works like new. Thanks for watching. Bye.